Yeah, we're dinging. All right. I believe it's 7 o'clock, and we actually have a public hearing tonight before the commission opens, so I'll read this public notice that went out. On June the 28th, 2022, the Bedford County Regional Planning Commission unanimously recommended the rezoning of approximately 2.89 plus or minus acres along US 41A North, Shelbyville, Tennessee, from its existing A1 agriculture/forestry zoning district to C1 Commercial Rural Center District, and more particularly identified as the entity of Bedford County Tax Map 48, Parcel 9, including a small portion of Tax Map 48, Parcel 10, also zoned A1, and said parcel being owned by Mr. and Mrs. Bobby and Clara Boyce, this property being known as the Old Boyce Livestock Center. So that we're open for public hearing for comments regarding the potential rezoning of this property to take this action to be taken at when the commission meets officially here in a few minutes. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to speak or say anything regarding the potential rezoning of the property on 41A? Raise your hand, stand up, whatever gets my attention. Yes, sir. If you'd stand up and come to the podium there, and if you would tell us your name and where you're from and what you want to say.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the commission. I'm Monty Turner, developer for the proposed project. I'm not sure if this is my time to speak. Time. Okay. I appreciate the time tonight, everyone. I don't want to get into the economics too much about the tenant that I'm building for. I think everyone knows it's Dollar General. But based on some figures referenced in the last hearing, the Rules and Legislative Affairs hearing, I just wanted to set the record straight on some of the tax benefits to the county. Dollar General last year to the county alone was directly responsible for $60,000 in property taxes and roughly $150,000 in sales taxes. I would say that's decent evidence of a good corporate citizen. Mr. Boyce also provided a packet, I think, to each of the commissioners. You should have that. He went into extreme detail on the economic impact of my tenant. However, as I stated in the hearing, it's not so much a meeting about the tenant as it is the use of the land. It's a zoning case. It's our contention and belief that this site is suitable, and commercial zoning is certainly justified to be at this intersection of two highways in the county. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right. Is there any questions by the commission? Anyone want to make a comment? Okay. Commissioner Mark Thomas.
If you'll recall, back in the Rules and Legislative Committee meeting, I asked you about how the buildings was going to look outside. Are you still committed to that?
Absolutely.
Same answer?
Yes, sir, 100%. We'll work with the Planning Commission on the design, and I think we've built a store nearby in Lynchburg that everybody feels, at least I've heard from some other commissioners, that's an excellent design, but we'll certainly provide renderings of 3 or 4 different examples of enhanced architecture. It won't be a metal building. And we'll work with Chris and the Planning Commission, the staff and the commission on that. Absolutely.
All right.
No further questions.
Any other commissioner wish to ask or say anything? All right. Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else in the audience that would want to speak for or against this potential rezoning? Now would be the time for you to speak as the public if you have any comment that you'd like to make. Okay, I don't see or hear anyone, so we'll declare the public hearing closed. And if you'll stand with me, we'll be led in prayer by Commissioner Brown, who is on the phone, is not able to be with us tonight. You got it.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Maybe pray.
Father, in the name of Jesus, we are assembled here tonight to tell you thank you. Thank you, Father, for allowing us to assemble ourselves together at this appointed place. Lord, when I look around, I have so much to be thankful for. I ask you, Father, to bless the sick and the shed in. Those are less fortunate than we are. Heavenly Father, bless those that have a nursing home, in the individual home, and whatever facility may be, take care of them. Bless them right now. Lord, I thank you for the 40 years that I have served there with my brothers and sisters on the board of commissioners. And Lord, I want to tell you to hold it together. Father, strengthen them where we're weak, build them where we're torn down. Hold us together. Bless our mayor, bless our county attorney, all in the head of this facility. Bless us right now. Lord, as I close this prayer, I want to say thank you for another day. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The meeting will now be opened by Chief Deputy Elliott.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Bedford County Board of Commissioners is now in session. The Honorable Mayor Chad Graham presiding.
Thank you. Be seated. All right, I believe the first item would be roll call by County Clerk Donna Thomas.
Commissioner Anderson,
Here.
Commissioner Brothers,
Here.
Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Castleman, Commissioner Epperson,
Here.
Commissioner Farrer,
Here.
Commissioner Ferris,
Here.
Commissioner Fox, Commissioner Gallagher,
Present.
Commissioner Pinson, Commissioner Jason Sanders,
Here.
Commissioner Julie Sanders,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Sweeney,
Here.
Commissioner Adam Thomas,
Here.
Commissioner Mark Thomas,
Here.
Commissioner Vick,
Here.
Commissioner Yaki,
No, he can't vote, so he's on.
16 present, 2 absent.
All right, before we go to the next item, I just want to say welcome to everyone that's here tonight. Obviously, we got a big crowd, and that's good. It's always important that the public be engaged in what your leaders are doing. So thank you for being here. First item is under the minutes, is approval of the special call meeting minutes from June the 28th.
Move to approve. Second.
All right, we got a motion and a second. We're open for discussion.
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Castleman.
I guess most of you know, most of you notice that I'm not running for re-election. One of the reasons old boys getting mighty old at this situation. I retired from Arnold Center after 33 years and 9 months as a test facility craftsman. And I came on board in 1998, and I've been here ever since. When I came on, I was under Mayor Parker, Mayor Jimmy Woodson, Mayor Eugene Ray, and now, last but not least, Mayor Chad Graham. I'm gonna tell y'all something. These are some mighty fine fellas that's been running this county. And I just want you to know I'm gonna miss you, all of you, but I'm just gonna say goodbye. But after a fella gets past 85, it's about time to sit down and just watch everybody else out.
Well, we certainly understand that.
And just to let you know, I've got a companion with me that's been with me a lot of years, 64 years. She's sitting back there in the audience. I want to let you know, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. Thank you.
Amen. Absolutely. Definitely a blessing, no question.
I'd like for you to, I'd like for my companion to stand up.
Well, yeah, stand up here for us. There you
I
go.
want it,
Yeah.
I want everybody to see.
All right. So
Thank y'all. So I'm sure gonna miss everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna recognize you here in just a minute as well. And so, yeah, we're so grateful for you. Thank you for that. Is there any other comment before we vote? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Is there any opposed? All right. The next one is approval of the county commission meeting minutes from July the 12th, 2022.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're hearing none. All right, next item is under elections and confirmations. We had received notice from the school board that the 8th district seat, which was held by school board member John Boutwell, who is now commissioner-elect Boutwell, will be vacant for September, starting the September meeting, and they wished for us to take nominations and appoint someone to serve the rest of his 2-year term from this body. So we'll take nominations from the floor for folks. Yeah, Commissioner Sanders.
I would like to nominate Shanna Boyette.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion second. Commissioner Yaki.
I'd like to nominate Michael Taylor.
Michael Taylor. All right. All right, and somebody else have their hand up for a different name? Commissioner Epperson.
I would like to nominate Rodney Thompson. He had contacted me about nominating him.
Okay, Rodney Thompson. All right. All right, is there any other nominations from the floor? All right, now here's, I think how this goes. They've got to get 10 votes, and we'll call all 3 names. If you remember, we've been through this before. We'll call all 3 names. If somebody gets 10 votes in the first round, then they will be the nominee or the appointee till the next commission. If none of them get 10, the one with the least votes drops off of the consideration, and the other 2, then you'll vote again. Again, we got to get to 10 to place the person. Does everybody understand what we're talking about? All right, so County Clerk Thomas will call.
Commissioner Anderson,
You mean name the person? Shanna Boyette.
Commissioner Brothers,
Shannon.
Commissioner Castleman,
Which name would you want to list? It was, I think, Shanna Boyette and Michael Taylor and Rodney Thompson. One of those 3 names for the vacant seat. Thompson? Okay, Rodney Thompson.
Commissioner Epperson,
Rodney Thompson.
Commissioner Farrer,
Michael Taylor.
Commissioner Ferris,
Shannon Boyette.
Commissioner Fox,
I'm sorry. Michael Taylor, Shanna Boyette, or Rodney Thompson? Which one? Boyette, Shanna Boyette?
Commissioner Gallagher,
Michael Taylor.
Commissioner Pinson, Commissioner Jason Sanders,
Ms. Boyette.
Commissioner Julie Sanders,
Shanna Boyette.
Commissioner Smith,
Taylor.
Commissioner Sweeney,
Shanna Boyette.
Commissioner Adam Thomas,
Mr. Taylor.
Commissioner Mark Thomas,
Shanna Boyette.
Commissioner Vick,
Shanna Boyette.
Commissioner Yaki,
Michael Taylor.
Shanna Boyette, 9 votes, Michael Taylor, 5, Rodney Thompson, 2.
Okay, so that drops Rodney from the consideration. You'll go back through this exercise again. You'll have only 2 choices whenever you choose names this time.
Commissioner Anderson,
Shanna Boyette.
Commissioner Brothers,
Shannon Boyette.
Commissioner Castleman,
Boyette.
Commissioner Epperson,
Mr. Taylor,
Commissioner Farrer,
Michael Taylor.
Commissioner Ferris,
Boyette.
Commissioner Fox, Commissioner Gallagher,
Michael Taylor.
Commissioner Jason Sanders,
Boyette.
Commissioner Julie Sanders,
Shanna Boyette.
Commissioner Smith,
Taylor.
Commissioner Sweeney,
Shanna Boyette.
Commissioner Adam Thomas,
Mr. Taylor.
Commissioner Mark Thomas,
Shanna Boyette.
Commissioner Vick,
Shanna Boyette.
Commissioner Yaki,
Taylor.
Shanna Boyette, 10 votes, Michael Taylor, 6.
All right, so Ms. Boyette will take the position at the school board in the September meeting through the rest of that term because it's in the last 2 years of it. All right. Next item on the agenda is election of the notaries.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next up is presentations, and so we have those to do. I've got Charlie Curtis from he's the executive director of the County Commissioners Association, and he wants to recognize specifically the commissioners with 20 years or more. If he'll come on up, and also I have Lynn Davis from Scott Desjardins' office, who had a presentation that we had to do earlier for Commissioner Brown, but I'd like for her to make a statement on behalf of Scott and his feelings about Commissioner Brown. And then we'll call up the other commissioners that will be going off. We have a plaque for you guys, and we'll get a picture up here, so.
Been on here a while, but I want to thank all of you for what you do. It takes away from your family when you go to these meetings, but it's so important to all the taxpayers, all the citizens of this county. But the ones I want to honor tonight is Ed Castleman, 25 years he's got on this legislative body. And I want to thank you for your service to our country and to Bedford County and to Tennessee.
Thank you.
Let's break this down.
Turn right around there. He's going.
Thank you, sir. Mark Thomas, 20 years service on this legislative body. I was just a kid when some of y'all got elected.
No, I hope not. Doesn't mean that.
No. Certainly appreciate the job well done.
Thank you, sir.
Tony Smith, 20 years. Still going. That's the only way to run. I served 10 terms in the legislature and only had an opponent 3 times. Those other 7 times were a breeze.
Okay.
Appreciate your service to this county and this state, brother. Right, we fixed him up, huh? And last but certainly not least, PT Biff Farrar. I get to talk to him every now and then. But we appreciate your service, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Barry. I try to say this every time I stand before county commission, but I believe with this all my heart. County government, the job that you do is a foundation that this state is standing on. And the work you do is very important.
And introduce yourself.
I'm Lynn Davis from Congressman Desjardins' office, and it is an honor to be here tonight. I'm sorry I didn't get to meet Mr. Brown, but an honor to serve. You guys do it a little different than we do in Rutherford County. I like it, so I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me again. 40 years. Congratulations to all you all for what you do for the county here. You make a difference, so thank you.
Thank you for that. All right. So now, all right. So we did these in alphabetical order. Of course, obviously Commissioner Brown couldn't be here, but we do have a little video clip from him that we got yesterday. So let's run that clip.
First of all, I'd like to say, thank the Lord. Slater always get reference to him, in whatever goes on. And I will have to say at this point, I thank God, most of all, for all of you all, who that would be for some years. All the way from the head down to 18 commissioners. I thank God for them going on and working together and realize that everything works together for those that love him. And it kind of old slow that I heard years ago. A family that works together, stay together. And that's where I feel. Here I feel like the ties are here between commissioner, the mayor, the attorney, Bobo, and all heads, that we all work together. That's why I have tried my best in these 40 years to not to miss any meetings pertaining to the meetings that I was committee meetings. Because to me, it says something about the feel of all 18 commissioners and what they represent and what they want done. More so than just by John Brown or Rod Ford. It all works together. And I repeat it now, it all works together. So I have to say I can appreciate Brother Sharon, I appreciate Brother John, appreciate all of you that have gone on some past 40 years. Back in church over the meetings. But I was there, just serving more or less on the hospital board, And from that day forward, we come forward and began to work with the commissioners. Finally got elected, and here we are to 2022. I have accomplished the 40 years. And you know what? I'm going to pat myself on the shoulder. It makes me feel proud. It makes me feel proud to know I hung in there 40 years, And that's the blessing. Yeah. Blessing. They say again, and I'm repeating that. It all works by being together. Always by being together. It's not my way or the highway, but it's about working together.
All right. So it was an honor to be with him. When you think about, of course, he's not able to be with us tonight, but he took office in 1982. When you think about 1982, that's been a day or two ago. And you hear us talk about sometimes the people that come before us and maybe being giants and standing on their shoulders. He would be a good example, in my opinion, of that. He's a tremendous amount of wisdom. And his health is failing, but his mind has been good. And it's so unfortunate, but he did make the 40 years, and we're grateful for that. We wanted to have him here tonight, couldn't get it done, so we did have the video clip. So the next, and these are just in alphabetical order, Commissioner Castleman, if you'll come up, we got a plaque for you. Where's my camera, folks? Yeah. All right. And so since you're not going to be coming back, you started in 1997 and we're here in 2022. So you've been here a day or two too. All right. Yeah, let's get your picture. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see here. And next is Brian Ferris. Where's Brian Ferris? If you come right up here, we want to give you. Now you came on in 2018 when I did, and we got scars to prove it, right? So, but here you are, and we're grateful for all your service, and we hope to see you back with us soon. Let's see here. Let me get the next one. Bobby Fox, you're a do-over. Let's see. He was here in 2002 to 2018, and then came back in 21 to help finish this out for us to 2022. And here you are, and we're certainly grateful for your experience. You want to say anything?
I just thank everybody for entrusting me to do it one more time.
Thank you for that. All right. And then Don Gallagher, you want me to come over there? Would that help you? All right. What's that? There you go. There you go. Now, Don came in 2011, but had been the mayor of Wartrace for many years before that. And so he knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two. So here you are, and we're grateful for your service as well. And thank you for all you do. Boy, we had a bunch change out here. Jason Sanders, you come right on up here. Jason came in a pinch when we lost Commissioner Patterson, and so we're grateful for you stepping up to do that for us. And we're grateful for you, and we want to see you all around Bedford and back in this business. And then last, because of alphabetical order, Commissioner Jeff Sweeney, if you can make your way right up here with me. Can't say enough about Jeff, and of course all of them, and I'll talk about that. But Jeff really stepped up. He came in 2018 with me when I got elected, and let's get a picture. And we had these big projects going. His background's in that area. He's really stepped up and done that for us, so we're grateful for him. So for all those commissioners that are not going to be coming back, we're grateful for your service. Some chose to not even seek re-election, and so we look forward to seeing you around. Come up here, visit with us. We need your wisdom and your input. We're happy to hear from you. So thank you guys for all those years you've given to us. All right, so the next item on the agenda, let me make sure. We're ready for resolutions. Commissioner Mark Thomas.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to suspend the rules to discuss a resolution on our industrial development situation and.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion second. Now it takes 2/3 to suspend the rules. So all in favor, I guess, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Raise your hand so I can make sure I get you counted. Okay, so it looks like that part, have suspended the rules. Now, what is your?
Mr. Mayor, I would have to defer to Council John T. Bobo to clarify and make a good statement about this.
All right.
There are several issues outstanding on finalizing this deal with Project Cardinal. The only one that directly affects the county is our pilot program. We adjusted that earlier this year after not having adjusted it since prior to CalSonic. We took a look at it 22 years ago in 2020 to stair-step it based on employment numbers and capital expenditure, but it was never finalized. So it's about time we do this. You've got a copy there. The IDB has approved it. The city of Sheville has approved it. Under the statute, this may not be a necessary step, but the attorneys for Cardinal would prefer that we do that, and I would certainly recommend it. The TDOT piece, thanks to our fine highway superintendent, is in place. The plat, the permitting is in process with their engineers, so I think this will be the final step that gets this job done. Thank you.
All right, let me read what the resolution, the caption, and then you can go at it how you choose. So what's being proposed is a resolution of the Bedford County Board of Commission authorizing the Industrial Development Board of the City of Shelbyville Incorporated to negotiate and accept payments in lieu of it, ad valorem tax. I can't ever say it. Property tax. All right. So we need a motion or?
Move to approve.
Second. All right. So we got a motion, second. Now we're open for more discussion or clarification. All right. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're moving on. Thank you guys for that. Next item is under Rules and Legislative Committee. We've got the changing of the speed zone on dead-end roads, Coleman, Harvey Lane, and Thompson Lane from 45 to 30 miles an hour. It was a 3-2 vote in the Rules and Legislative Committee. Commissioner Farah.
County Mayor, I believe the motion was just her road. The other
Just
people.
Coleman Harvey, it was just
Yes,
Coleman Harvey.
the
Okay, I'm
motion-
sorry. Okay, so what should it be? Let's make that correction before we,
Just the Coleman Harvey Lane,
okay, not Thompson Lane.
correct.
Okay, all right. Now, am I correct with the votes? It was 3-2
Yes,
to
sir.
send it? Okay, it's just, it should not have had Thompson Lane included.
Yes, sir.
All right. So is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, so now we have a motion and a second. We're open for discussion. And is everybody clear that it does not include Thompson Lane? All right, any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next item on the agenda is the rezoning. We had the public hearing prior to this meeting. So it's the rezoning, map 48 parcel 9, plus a portion of map 48 parcel 10.01 for a total of 2.89 acres, northeast section with Highway 41A and Highway 270, rezoned from A1 to C1.
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, motion is second. We're open for discussion. Questions, clarification? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next item is the Tba Resolution. I believe we had this up last time and I didn't have all the information. I've got Robert present if we need him. It's my understanding that TVA added some easement lines and had not reimbursed the county for them. And so this is to make it right on their end and for us to be able to accept those funds.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion second. We're open for other discussion or comments. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on. Law enforcement, nothing to report. Courthouse and property, nothing to report. All right, now we're ready for Financial Management Committee. Next item is County Budget Amendment Number 1. It was unanimously recommended by the Financial Management Committee.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. Now we're open for discussion. Commissioner Anderson.
I've got a question. I've been doing a little research, and I keep reading from the state where the mayor, you, Mr. Graham, should make 5% more than anyone else, the way I read it. But
I
with all
like
due
that.
respect, Mr. Daniel appears to be making quite a bit more. Now, my question is, the problem I have is I think when we were giving these raises, we weren't thinking we were giving him, it looks like 2 raises to me. But I go through your folder where it says pay scale correction for all employees.
Right.
And under him, it says $51.90 an hour. The way my math works out, he's getting $64 an hour. So if we're correcting things, I mean, we can go to the page right here where it says $51.95 an hour. My question is, how does he make more than you make? And now he's going to be making substantially more after this than you do.
I believe, and the county attorney can clear this up, and I hope I'm wrong, but elected officials is where there is a gap that has to be in place, not non-elected officials. And so I believe that would be.
But your own study here says the director should be making $51.95 an hour, where we're correcting. It says finance. Y'all can all go and read it. It's right here in front of everybody. Why are we paying $64 an hour? Because we're paying $133,000 versus $108,000.
Is that the zero line item whenever you read the 54 number?
Well, I mean, it's the number that's in the book here.
Yeah, that would be the starting number, and then it goes 1% down the scale for everybody. And if a person has, I don't know how many years he has, 8 years of service, then he would drop to the line 8, which would be.
I wonder if there's another county where the financial director makes more than the mayor.
I have no idea.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other comments or questions? All right. So we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the amendments. All right. When your name's called, vote for or against.
Commissioner Anderson,
No.
Commissioner Brothers,
Yes.
Commissioner Castleman? Commissioner Epperson?
I have really been torn. I'm very disappointed in the way that we arrived at all this.
Is your,
and
your mic on where they can hear you? Is your mic on?
I don't think it's working. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, is your line?
Okay. I've been very torn at the way we arrived at all this. And, this is going mostly for the general fund. I don't agree with the property tax increase, but that part's already passed. I hope this body, has learned that we need to do what the majority of the citizens in our district wants. Most of the increases that I see, are needed, like the emergency services and the secretaries and the fee offices and things like that. I do have a problem with some that are making $64 an hour or $40 an hour. These are some high salaries for Bedford County, and then we have to tell the citizens of Bedford County that we're taking that money from them to pay that. And like I said, I have been torn because I believe a lot of the employees do need to be up to scale. But I don't think we should take it from the property taxes, and I'm voting no.
So you're voting no. All right.
Commissioner Farrer?
No.
Commissioner Ferris?
Pass.
Let's see. Does that change the, has he got to declare conflict to be able to change the majority? Because pass is same as no. Are you passing because of a conflict? Right, okay. The clarification on that is if there is a conflict, it changes the potential majority vote would not necessarily be 10 votes. If you pass, anyone subject to do that, and that's the same as no, it takes 10 yeses to do whatever we're doing. So that's why we need to clarify that. Because you're an employee of the county, you're declaring a conflict, so therefore you're not voting. All right.
Commissioner Fox? Commissioner Gallagher?
Yes.
Commissioner Jason Sanders?
Yes.
Commissioner Julie Sanders?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeney?
Yes.
Commissioner Adam Thomas?
Abstaining.
Again, conflict of interest, and so therefore you're not able to vote. All right.
Commissioner Mark Thomas?
I have a conflict as well, and I abstain from the vote.
Commissioner Vick?
Yes.
Commissioner Yaki?
Yes.
10 yes votes, 3 no votes.
All right. And how many was required for a majority in this case?
If you take out the 3 conflicts, that takes us down to 15. So the majority of that would be 8.
Right.
But you got 10 anyway. So
Right. So the majority would have been 8 in this case because of conflict of interest. I want to make sure everybody understands that. But you have 10 votes, so you're either way it stands. All right. Next item on the agenda is the early literacy contract for the Board of Education. It's a greater than 1-year contract, so those all have to come before this body.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion is second. Any comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next is the quarterly financials.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second for discussion with those. Those are your quarterlies that come to you regularly to this body. All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next is Board of Education has surplus property to be declared.
Move
Motion.
to approve.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then last, under Financial Management Committee, it was put on the agenda to hire 5 new SROs to be funded the first year by proceeds from the sale of the Emergency Management Building located on Railroad Avenue.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Did you get those? Linda, or possibly, yeah, Anita, Commissioner Epperson.
While I am certainly for SROs in every school, we definitely need them. I just wanted to know, do we have a plan to pay for this for next year?
Commissioner Yaki.
I brought this up at finance. Since originally I'd made a motion for the employees if the pay raise hadn't passed, and so I withdrew that motion. And SROs and getting our kids out of these portables is pretty important to me right now. So looking, and I love Dr. Garrett to death, but I can't put the wing on Liberty School. That's just too much. But to support our schools, support our children, and something that we could do is to fund these SRO officers for this year, and it'll probably end up not being as much as we thought it was because we're moving on into the year by the time we got somebody trained and so forth. But there is no plan other than, yes, it would have to be funded next year through property taxes, just like everything else. But I feel like we owe this to our kids in the light of things that have done. We first said at finance, and Mayor helped me on this, that it would be probably 370 if we did those all five.
Yeah, I think that was strictly just the salary part. There are
just
some
salary part.
residual things, training and equipment that they're going to have.
So by the time we get into this, half of the year is going to be gone, so it would not be that much. I asked how much it would cost to renovate the Tennessee Rehab building where EMA would be moving, and there wasn't I couldn't get a precise fact, but ballparking, $300,000 to $400,000 maybe.
Yeah, I think we're 4+, depending on how much they do.
So at the end of that, if the building does bring what we had hoped for, by the time the year's up, we should be able to manage all of that through these funds. But yes, it would have to be recovered in next year's budget. All of it would have to all be paid back.
Commissioner Sweeney.
I'm a little concerned, and this is part of the reason we're under the 81 Act, but we've made commitments on a piece of property we don't have a contract on. We're hoping to get $680,000. It's going to cost about $500,000 to put SROs in the school, and which school is not going to get the 6 SRO that we need? And we'll probably need 7 by the time we open the new school. The other problem is the EMA building is going to cost about $550,000 to remodel, because I'm sat in on the architect meeting 2 weeks ago. So we're over $1 million. So we're already telling the taxpayers next year we're going to have to add 7 cents to the property tax for something we haven't even gotten sold yet. That's the kind of incompetence that we have on the finance committee, making situations arise that we're not aware of.
Okay. Now, don't say personal things. Just speak your position. Yes, sir. There you go. Yes, sir. All right. Commissioner Julie Sanders.
I want to reiterate what Commissioner Sweeney said as far as, in our committee in courthouse and property, we had already discussed that once we did sell the EMA building, we had looked at using that money towards renovating TRC. And that was our original plan, and it kind of bothers me it didn't come back to our committee and went straight to finance. I just wanted to speak on that. I also agree we need the SRO officers. However, it's not really a good idea to have a patch and do something 1 year and not have a plan, a long-term plan to continue with that. So I don't agree with that.
Commissioner Brian Ferris.
What's the plan? Are you going to pull patrol officers to put them in schools? And then how do we replace the patrol officers for that 1 year? Where are these officers going to come from? Because you have to put them through the academy. You're talking about a year and a half before they're ready for anything. I'm all about school safety. Being an SRO myself, I understand, I get it. But I don't know that it seems to me like a short-term fix to a long-term problem. Where are these people going to come from? The sheriff's department, where are they going to pull them from? we're already short-staffed. Now you're gonna be even more short-staffed, or you're gonna put, officers on overtime. Now, instead of having days off, they're gonna be required to work in a school. So now you got a fatigue, issue. So I don't know that pulling, and it doesn't sound like a great number, 6, 7, whatever the number may be. But when you pull that many from patrol, warrants, wherever they come from, then that leaves a big void in day-to-day service. And it would be very difficult. And I've seen it, I've seen them work magic before. But that's an awful big rabbit to try to pull out of a hat in a very short period of time.
Commissioner Bill Anderson.
Would this be a chance, and maybe an opportunity, maybe it's not, to where we could we got a good relationship with the city of Shelbyville. And these elementary schools, these SROs we're talking about, are within the city limits of Shelbyville. Is there any way we could work with the Shelbyville Police Department here maybe and think outside the box a little bit, where maybe they could fund it, we could help fund it, and maybe that would be another avenue to look at into these SROs instead of putting it all in the Bedford County Sheriff's Department? Maybe the police department, and I don't know, maybe that's not a good idea, but maybe at least we could throw it by them and see what they say.
Commissioner Sweeney.
I think we need to wait and see what the governor's doing. He's putting together a plan to put SROs in every school. I think it would be better to let the state make their move first, because I'm worried if we make the move, then it may cut funding out for Bedford County. So I think it's better to shelf this idea until we get more information.
Commissioner Epperson.
Heard that from the governor's office, that they were putting a plan in place. And so, as Keith said, we may not could get it if we already had that. And we don't even have the money yet. So, and I'm also concerned that, we haven't completely replaced the money that we took from the sale of the old hospital that was supposed to be replaced when we sold other properties that we said we were going to replace. So I just think instead of jumping off the cuff and not having a plan, that we need to wait and see if we can come up with a better plan. I definitely want to see them all there, but I just think we have to have a plan to pay them.
Commissioner Thomas, Mark Thomas.
I do agree with Linda. We need the SROs in this day and time in our school system. And Brian, you may know better than I would. Is it true? And there may not be anybody here that can speak to it. Are we actually a year and a half off before we could get people educated to get in this school system? And if that's the case, then by budget time next year, they won't be employed. And maybe the finance committee, and with growth and everything else that changes, maybe these items could be funded and not hit another tax increase.
The chief deputy is here from the sheriff's office if you would want him to comment on it. If you don't.
Nikki, are you comfortable in commenting? I don't want to put you on
and
the
Dr.
spot.
Garrett's here as well. So if there's no objection, can you speak to that, Chief?
Yes, to answer your question, some of that would depend on who we hired. If we were able to get certified officers, then that time frame would be a little shorter, but I would say still, realistically, the soonest would be 3 to 4 months before we could have anybody ready. If they're uncertified officers, then I would look more at 9 months. By the time we were able to get them through our training program, through the academy. And then, of course, these are new positions. This is equipment that we don't have. So they all need a vehicle, they all need a vest, they all need a firearm, they all need a rifle, they all need a radio. There's a lot of cost to adding a new person. I would estimate it for a new position. You've got the salary and the benefits, but you're probably looking at another $60,000 for equipment and training. If they're uncertified, they all have to go to the academy. For 5 to 6, you'd be looking at about $20,000 for just academy cost. So the time frame would depend on who we hired.
Thank you. And just to reiterate, our county's changing its communication systems, and radios that we were purchasing today at around $400 are now going to be somewhere in the $7,000 and $8,000 range. but the life expectancy is way beyond anything that we can dream will carry us way into the future. So that just gives you an idea of what the cost difference 30 years ago versus now is. And I have a question for Dr. Garrett.
If there's no objection, Dr. Garrett, if you step up to the mic, we'd love to let you weigh in on this.
And again, I don't want to put you on the spot, but we were talking about 5 SROs. Is that correct?
Yes.
So does that put one in every school, including the school building program that we're in now?
Except for Community Elementary. They also share the SRO with Community Middle. There's a hallway that connects both the schools.
And you're comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay. And so we would, and correct me if I'm wrong, we would need 6 with the new school that we're thinking about building or heading that direction, one for it.
And as well as Community Elementary eventually to have one covering Community Elementary and middle school.
Here again, I'm like some of the rest of you. I think we're a little bit premature in getting our numbers and knowing exactly what we need. And just like we did on the radio system, we studied this for months. We figured out what we had to have. We knew when we went to the drawing board, this is what it was going to cost. This was going to cover everything. Here again, I think that we need to get some better numbers.
Okay, is there any other comment? Are you ready to vote? So when your name's called, you vote for or against. Yes would be to fund it, and no would be to send it back or study it, or at least not fund it at this time. So understand when you vote yes or no what you're doing. All right?
Commissioner Anderson,
No.
Commissioner Brothers,
Yes.
Commissioner Castleman, Commissioner Epperson,
No.
Commissioner Farrer,
No.
Commissioner Ferris,
No.
Commissioner Fox, Commissioner Gallagher, Commissioner Pinson, Commissioner Jason Sanders,
Yes.
Commissioner Julie Sanders,
No.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeney,
No.
Commissioner Adam Thomas,
No.
Commissioner Mark Thomas,
No.
Commissioner Vick,
No.
Commissioner Yaki, seven noes,
No.
9 yes.
No, is it reversed, isn't it?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I reversed it. 7 yes, 9 noes.
All right, so it fails at this time. All right. Next on the agenda is under other business, the quarterly reports. Some of the reports were in your packet. Some of the other officials are present. I think they had handouts that are on your desk, and we can start with clerk and master, which I don't believe he's here, and then circuit court clerk and driving school. I know Michelle's here, and I think she said that she would be happy to answer any questions you have. Well, we're not hearing questions. Anything you want to say?
I would just like to thank everyone for their service for the last 4 years. It's been a pleasure working with you all. I know y'all have had to make some tough decisions, and for myself and my employees, I really appreciate y'all passing. They needed the raise really, really bad. So I really appreciate that, and it's going to help me keep some good people that I have. The driving school, it's doing really well. I think there was some questions about what money went to the detention, what money went to, where it went to. So I try to break it out a little bit better. So for this quarter, there was $11,865 that went toward the detention center to offset that cost. Then there was $15,255 that go to the juvenile court fund to help fund the juvenile court. And then, of course, we collected $50,970 total for the driving school, which all that money does stay within the county. On my circuit, I was just going to let you know that we've had 8,452 people that came through our security In our building, we had 4,148 people on the docket. We had over 104 court sessions, and we had 4,351 cases on the docket. We collected $66,099 for my clerk fees, and we made 4,324 transactions that were made in our office, not counting the ones that were paid over the phone. So if y'all have any questions for me?
Thank you for the map. Keep up the good work. I guess COVID is allowing people to come back into the court system.
Yes, sir. We're under no
Perfect.
restrictions.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. County Clerk.
All right, I have handed out my report to everyone. I want to reiterate what Michelle said. Our employees are our greatest asset, and I want to thank you for your commitment to taking care of them, and it's going to pay off for Bedford County, and I appreciate that very much. You'll see the report that I gave you was for this past year to date, 2021-22. Bottom line, our total transactions were down 1% from last year. However, total collections was up 6%. So if you do fewer transactions and make more money, that's a good deal. Revenue for Bedford County was actually up 3% over last year. So I'll entertain any questions if you have any.
Any questions for Donna? All right. Moving on, next is Director of Schools. I know she's present and she's already got started, so.
Good evening. We have started school. I wanted to give you an enrollment update. As of today, we have 8,661 students. This time last year, we had 8,456 students. We also added 20 pre-K students. We had a state grant. They called and said, hey, would you like another pre-K? We did have a waiting list, so we added a pre-K. So we have an extra class of that. That's 160 total. Last year we had 140. So we have about 225 new students over last year. We are seeing our greatest increases right now at Cascade Elementary. They added about 45 students. Shelbyville Central added about 82 students. Also Aiken, 20 students up. A Community Elementary, about 18 students up. Learning Way, about 31 students up. So those are our greatest increases. Also, an update on Community High School addition. We are moving dirt, so we're excited about that. And an update on Cartwright Elementary School. We plan to have our designs from our architects in December. They will have about 75% of that. So we should be able to, at that point, get an estimate on what the new school will cost. So we're looking for that in December. We will be able to bring it to the board around January and hopefully get started with groundbreaking in February. So we're looking forward to that. Also, this week, we've had bridge conferences with our principals looking at data from last year, planning and goal setting for this year. We will be able to release scores as of August the 15th. They are embargoed until then. I knew that you would want to know the football schedule starts next week. So we have Shelbyville Central at Tullahoma next Thursday, so come out and see us. Cascade High versus Moore County next Friday. It's away. And Community High School versus Lewis County next Friday. We also had something very exciting since I've seen you last. We have a Bedford County teacher, Rachel Porter, who is now in the top 9 for Tennessee Teacher of the Year. And she and I will go to a celebration on August the 25th, and hopefully we'll come home with the gold. So looking forward to that. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have tonight.
All right. Thank you for that report. Do we have any questions? All right. Thank you so much. Next is election, and I believe she put some information in for us there for you tonight. I don't believe she's here. And Highway Superintendent, I know he's here. I'm not sure what he wants to say. I know we did get his report in advance.
Thank you. I'll just hit the highlights. I think everyone has my report in there. I do want to say also, like Michelle did, I want to thank you outgoing commissioners, even you, Brian, also for all the work that we've done together. I had to do that because he always messes me every time I do my quarterly report with y'all, so I had to get him the last time. So, but do want to thank y'all service for the community, and thank you for helping me get transitioned over to the role that I'm in now. So I thank you. On the highway side, I'm just going to hit some high points here. You see in this list right here, I have the paving list for this year, and also he'll have the chip seal list on it. The chip seal list right now, we are on pace to have over 30 miles done before winter so far this year. The paving list, we will have 1.4 million in paving that we will do this year. Thank you for the extra 3 cents that you voted in for the highway department. We are starting the TDOT planning corridor grant. We're putting a group of people put together for a steering committee. So that is moving forward. We should have that done hopefully in the next 7 to 8 months on that part. The solid waste report, we have changed all the lighting in all the centers, which has helped the attendees early in the morning. They hadn't seen it too much yet, but when the chime changes, it's always dark when they get there. So that has worked out very well. This is the second week since we've changed the new time schedule. And the new 3 centers that's open 6 days a week from 6:30 to 4:30, it has been a home run. Thank you for allowing that to happen because it has went over very well and it is working out wonderful. Any questions for anybody?
Yeah, Commissioner Anderson.
I can't thank you enough from the Bedford County Fair Board and the Ag Board for the work you and your guys did on that fair out there, helping that place look good. Y'all didn't have to do it. Once again, you do it every year. We just can't thank you enough, Mark. Thank you.
We appreciate it, and I'll pass it on to my man. Thank you.
All right. Any other comments for Mark? Thank you, Mark. All right. Up next, I believe, is property assessor. She wasn't able to be here tonight. She did want me to say to you, she said, let the commission know things have not slowed down in her office, even with the interest rates going up. It says we are still seeing a lot of sales, new construction, and plats coming through. So her office obviously continues. There must be some lag between what may be shuttling and showing with some national data, but we're not seeing it here in Bedford. The growth seems strong and the continued demand for services. And so she'll be back with us in the near future, and her office is available to answer any questions you might have. Next is Register of Deeds. I think he's right here. I know he put some information together for us in advance as well.
First of all, I'd like to thank this body of commissioners. You have a hard job to do, and just want to thank you for that. If you look at your notes, it's compared to last year's fiscal year and this year. Last year we set a record with over $2.7 million collected through the office. This year we even beat that with $3.3 million collected. That's an increase of $600,000, and it's just been unreal. Talking about plats, Mr. Graham, I sent 44 plats off to be recorded into the system last Friday. We've had 10 more brought in this week. One of them was 69 housetops between where the new school's gonna be, between 437 Fairfield Pike, Mount Chalcedonic. I have plants all over that's new rooftops coming, and they're building all over. It's just a booming time for Bedford County still. Any questions?
Any questions for him? All right. Well, thank you so much for all you guys are doing there. Up next is the trustee is here, and I know she put her information out in advance for you at your desk as well, but come on in, Tanya.
I just want to say thank all of you because this is truly a hard leadership decision. And thank you for seeing the value in the county employees and the experience and knowledge that simply is not so easily to be replaced. So thank you for that. With my report, I know it's very lengthy because it's the end of the year. I'm just going to throw out some numbers because as everyone says, there's been such a tremendous growth in Bedford County. Our current taxes, and I know we want to look at those numbers because it's 40% of that budget. Y'all always want to see those numbers. So current taxes has been about $800,000 in an increase. The priors were about 219, and that some of that was from appeals settled. And then I went back because I love to do the comparisons, and y'all see that in my reports. It's easy to the eye because I can't get mine ahead like the other departments. That we are looking at 62% on, let me pull this and see. Oh, it was the, I don't have to look, it was the clerk and master. It was a 62% decrease in what we're turning over to the courts. So that's telling you how we're pushing to collect these taxes within the office. I'm just going to touch real fast. Everything is moving forward, greater numbers. Mixed drink, LGIP has hit a 45% just recently. Those are good numbers coming. Sales tax, this year county local option, they'll split out. We're hitting right at $2 million. And then, of course, at the very end of my report, you will see the out-of-state, which I broke that out for you to see Bedford County, City of Shelbyville, our other three cities of Wartrace, Bell Buckle, and Normandy. So all of those are good comparisons. They're graphs. They're easy to the eye. And if you have any questions, I'd love for you to come by and see me.
Yes, she would.
Yes, I like
I know she would. She grabs me every time I'm over there. All right. Well, thank you so much for all that hard work and importance. Any questions for Commissioner Vick?
Thank you, Ms. Davis. This is excellent report, especially about the clerk and master, because when that shows us that your office is really doing some good stuff there and keeping those taxes from being delinquent.
We are detectives too.
And you're just doing a great job.
We're going to find you.
Yep. Thank you.
Just trying to help them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tanya always does a great report, so I just want to thank her for that.
Absolutely. Thank you for, all right. Don't talk to her anymore. Let her sit down.
Understand.
I just got queued in. We got a few more minutes. All right. So up next is the last report, and that's from Economic Development. We have some of the partnership members here with us tonight. Shane wasn't able to be here. Gary Fayar is with us. Is Carol with you? Carol O'Brien is right there, and David Coffey, and they serve on this partnership with us. They do a tremendous job. They've got a lot of experience in the private sector and are a tremendous asset to the partnership. And Gary was going to kind of breeze over some of the high points of what's going on with the partnership so this body can understand that and get this latest update.
So Shane would normally give this report, but he is traveling this week and not able to be here. So we thought that maybe it'd be an opportunity for the three independent members, if you will, of the economic development of the Shelbyville Bedford partnership to come. Just as a reminder, the partnership is composed of 2 members from the city, 2 members from the county government, and 3 members that are independent. So I'm one, Gary Fayard. I've got a finance background and a CPA as well, way back when. Carol O'Brien. Carol was a senior executive in commercial real estate in Atlanta and was in charge of some of the biggest commercial real estate developments in the city of Atlanta. And then David Coffey, I think you all know David, but president of Nationwide Express, one of our best businesses here. So report on the partnership itself, we're happy to report, obviously, what's been in the paper and everyone's talking about Doosan, South Korean battery component manufacturer, has announced that they are coming here. The great thing about it is so I'm gonna give you 2 sets of numbers. Good finance people always have lots of sets of numbers. If you don't like one, I can give you another. So one is they guaranteed some numbers, okay? But then there are the numbers of what they expect to happen. Their expectations obviously higher than what they guaranteed. So they guaranteed that they would bring 100 jobs here to Bedford County. Their expectation is they're going to bring 161 jobs. They guaranteed that they would spend $95 million on capital in their building. If they spend the $95 million, which they've guaranteed, it will equal the largest commercial capital investment in the county. So they will be equal, and if they spend the expected $117 million, they'll be the largest in the county. The other is that of those jobs, be it 100 or 161, their expectation of salaries will be 32% above the average of Bedford County. So these are all good paying jobs. So we're excited about that. We continue to work on a lot of other projects. I mean, the economy here is still hot. There are lots of things going on, and we're excited about where we're going. Thank you very much. Any questions, we'd be happy to entertain them.
Any questions? Commissioner Thomas?
I would just like to make a comment. Myself and some other emergency services directors and assistant directors had an opportunity to meet with them.
Yes.
And we certainly appreciate it, and I think it's going to be a great partnership for Bedford County. And I appreciate what y'all have done and sticking with it and fighting the battle.
Great, thank you. I know they met with the EMA. They've also met with the fire as well. So, which I think is telling for a company that's not even broken ground yet, that they're coming in, they're doing the planning, they're meeting with everyone, and making sure they're doing everything right.
Commissioner Anderson?
That's a quick question. What's your expectation of the companies for, out of these 100 jobs, local Shelbyville, Bedford County people getting jobs versus you're bringing them in from another state or another town? What is the expectation, hopefully, for local employment?
Well, hopefully, if we do education correctly, and they'll be hired here. Now, if somebody's in Rutherford County and they want a job and come down and interview, yeah, they'll get it. They're coming in to hire 100 or 161 new positions. So I hope all of them will be from Bedford County. There's no guarantee on that, and they won't be, by the way. There'll be some people from Moore County and everywhere else. But the other thing that I think is very helpful to think about, real estate development people, and even in my finance background, when the company I was with, we'd make an investment somewhere, there's something called a multiplier effect. You bring a business in, there's a multiplier effect because there are all these ancillary businesses that have to supply services. You know, they have to ship freight. They have to do lots of things. Well, the multiplier effect here, we're expecting to be 2.5 times what's happening, direct jobs. So we think this is one of those that it just keeps on giving, and all positive.
Commissioner Vick.
We are so fortunate to have Mr. Fayard and Ms. O'Brien and Mr. Coffey volunteering their services to help us. We could not afford to pay these people their hourly rate. They are volunteering their services to help the community, and we are very fortunate from the development side, from the practical standpoint, from the financial standpoint, and thank you so much for the time and effort you're doing to help this community and to help all of us. It's a critical component that we really needed help on, and you guys have stepped in and done a magnificent job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Thank you, guys. Great report. We appreciate that. It was slim and trim. We like that. All right, so all that's left is announcements. The celebration starts August the 24th through September the 3rd, so get out and support that. That's a huge draw for our county. And then we're going to have a formal swearing-in ceremony for those that want to participate for the elected officials, commissioners and all, on August the 31st, 3 o'clock here in this courtroom. Now, it's my understanding that if you can't make this or it's not going to work out for you before the actual night of the commission, you got to be sworn before you actually sit. So we can actually get you right before the commission. I'm sure Mr. Bobo there would be happy to, so help me you. And so, but we'd love to see you there on August the 31st. Bring your family and you can take some photos, and it's a real honor to be able to serve Bedford County. So we'd encourage you to do that. Is there any other comments? We certainly, again, want to roll out of here saying thank you so much for all of you guys that have served, and Commissioner Sweeney.
To thank all the employees of the county. The last 4 years, I have been able to see the hard work they've put into our county, especially with COVID. We are very blessed to have the people that we have with the experience they have. I'm very thankful for that opportunity.
Agreed. Thank you for that. Commissioner Sanders.
I'm the same as Jeff. Thank y'all for all y'all do. Thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to fill some big shoes for 2 years. If I could give some advice to some new ones coming in, I had a man tell me one time, learn with your ears and your eyes before you speak. You have a good one. We'll see you soon.
All right, County Attorney John T. Bobo.
I'd just like to supplement the Director of Schools report. Harris High beat Coffee County 44-7 tonight. They were the team that knocked us out of the championship. I would go into more detail on the scoring, but you'd swear I had some Charlie Coffee blood in my veins.
All right, is there any other comments or announcements? Again, thank you so much for all you've done for us, and those that are coming on, we look forward to serving with you. We're adjourned.